The ice colony on Hesperus 4 was never meant to be permanent. It existed only because rare minerals lay trapped beneath kilometers of frozen ground, and profit justified discomfort. Most species avoided worlds like this. The cold was relentless, the wind unending, and even advanced machines failed without warning. Humans were allowed because they were considered expendable. No one said it aloud, but everyone understood it. Among the registered personnel was one human veteran named Elias Thorne. He did not request quarters inside the heated colony dome. He did not complain. Instead, he carved a shelter into the stone cliffs beyond the perimeter and lived there alone. The engineers mocked him. The administrators dismissed him. The safety council predicted failure. Elias ignored them all. The cave was not primitive. It was deliberate. Thick stone walls insulated against temperature loss. The entrance angled away from prevailing winds. Salvaged components formed a heat system built for redundancy rather than efficiency. Every decision came from experience earned in places worse than this. Elias had survived vacuum breaches, battlefield winters, and collapsing fronts. Compared to those, Hesperus 4 was honest. The cold followed rules. The wind followed patterns. Politics did not. The blizzard arrived without warning. It struck the valley like a weapon. Visibility vanished within minutes. Sensors failed. Temperatures dropped beyond modeled limits. Inside the dome, emergency protocols activated. Heating was rationed. Movement was restricted. Fear spread faster than frost. Day 1 passed. Then day 2. Ice scoured metal like sandpaper. External systems failed. Inside the dome, voices grew quieter. Someone asked if the human was still alive. Someone else said no one could survive outside. They spoke of Elias Thorne in past tense. Inside the cave, Elias worked. He cleared vents. He adjusted heat flow. He rationed fuel without panic. He slept in short cycles, always alert. On day 3, external communications failed. Supply drones froze midair and shattered. Food stores dropped. Medical bays grew cold. Day 4 brought structural strain. Ice accumulation stressed the dome's supports. Panic became visible. Some cried. Others sat silently. No one mentioned the human anymore. Day 5, a supply container broke loose and slid toward the cliffs. It came to rest near the cave. Elias salvaged medical packs and heating cells. He left the rest. Day 6, an ice slide buried the cave entrance. Elias dug out methodically and reinforced the interior. By day 7, the colony prepared a final transmission beacon. Power was nearly gone. They sent one last signal into the storm. Inside the cave, Elias repaired an old repeater and answered, "I am alive." Silence followed the transmission. Then disbelief. The colony manager's voice returned, thin and uncertain, asking where Elias was. Outside, he replied, "Still alive, still operational." The channel filled with overlapping voices. No one argued. No one questioned. Survival mattered more than pride. Elias transmitted movement paths carved by wind shadows and terrain breaks. He explained where ice drifted thin and where pressure fractured surfaces. He guided drones step by step through the storm. The first reached his cave. Its cameras revealed everything: the shelter, the supplies, the human standing calm while the world screamed around him. Inside the dome, panic shifted into awe. Day 8 began with coordinated evacuations. Elias directed them in phases. Wounded first, then technicians, then families. Small groups moved through the storm following his markers. No one was lost. They reached the cave in silence. Inside, the heat held. The walls did not shake. The wind screamed past but never entered. Survivors stared at the shelter, then at the human who built it. "You lived here?" one alien whispered. "Yes," Elias replied. "In a cave." "Yes." The colony council arrived last. They did not argue. They did not question. They bowed. When the storm finally weakened, survivors stood outside beneath a pale sky. Hesperus 4 remained frozen. The wind never softened. But something fundamental had changed. Human survival manuals replaced alien models. Cave shelters were added to standard designs. Quietly, a phrase spread across stations and colonies: "If a human chooses to stay, the place is survivable." Years later, that lesson echoed again in a different corner of the galaxy. The frontier station cantina was loud, crowded, and neutral ground. Narvik, a Pixith merchant, trembled on the floor as a Krellian warlord raised a plasma claw above him. The Krellian stood 9 feet tall, armored to withstand explosives. Narvik barely reached 3 feet, his species evolved for gentler worlds. "You sold defective goods," the warlord snarled. My soldiers died. Before the claw fell, the human bartender stopped polishing glasses. Her name was Temperance Graves. She was not large. She was not armed. She stepped around the bar and spoke calmly. Put him down. 16 species froze. The warlord laughed. He listed his victories, his weapons, his strength. Temperance did not raise her voice. I'm asking nicely. The plasma claw swung. Temperance moved into the strike, not away. 3 seconds later, the warlord lay broken against a pillar. His weapon disarmed. His confidence shattered. She gave him a choice. Live. He did. Narvik stared at her in awe. Why save me? He asked. Temperance handed him a drink. You're a person, she said. That's enough. Narvik did not leave his booth for an hour. His heart still raced. An elderly Pixith slid into the seat across from him, silver fur marking her as a clan elder. She activated a battered data pad and placed it between them. What you witnessed, she said, was Rule 1. On the screen, a document scrolled. Pixith Survival Protocols. Rule 1 was bold, highlighted, underlined. Never provoke humans. Never threaten humans. Never harm humans. Never allow others to harm what humans protect. Rule 2 read, there is no Rule 2. Narvik protested. Humans were not predators. They barely noticed Pixith. The elder showed him old records. During the Krellian expansion, Pixith worlds had fallen one by one. Resistance failed. Mercenaries failed. Then a video played. A single human medical frigate drifted between a Krellian fleet and a Pixith colony. Its captain spoke calmly. There are civilians below. If you fire through us first. The Krellian commander laughed until the human explained consequences. Not threats. Promises. 47 hours was all it took for the last species that crossed that line to fall. The fleet withdrew. They protect the weak instinctively, the elder said. Anyone who violates that learns humans are predators playing nice by choice. More incidents followed. Slavers intercepted by human freighters. Tax collectors arrested by human peacekeepers. A pattern never declared, never denied. Across the cantina, Temperance served drinks like nothing had happened. Narvik began typing. Stay close to humans. Treat them with respect. When they protect you, remember it. When others ask why humans help us, tell the truth. Because they decided we matter. The story spread. Elsewhere, peace envoys returned to a quiet farming world. Dragons once shot down by those fearing peace rose again. A farmer named Elias Mercer watched from his field as bronze and silver shapes circled overhead. They offered him gold. Land. Protection. He refused. This land needs me. They bowed and swore the fields would never burn. Across the galaxy, humans returned to bars, caves, farms, and frozen worlds. They did not build empires. They built shelters. They did not demand obedience. They demanded restraint. Other species learned the difference. Humanity did not dominate the stars through conquest. They earned their place by standing between danger and those who could not stand alone. That was the rule everyone learned. Sometimes late. Sometimes just in time. The galaxy eventually adjusted. It always did. Borders shifted. Treaties formed. Wars ended faster than expected. Not because humans demanded peace, but because no one wished to test their limits again. Human settlements became quiet markers of safety. Not fortresses. Not threats. Simply places where bullies did not thrive. Traders rerouted through human space. Refugees sought human escort. Entire species revised survival doctrine around one truth. Humans did not see power the way others did. To them, strength carried obligation. That lesson was never taught in academies. It was learned in storms, in cantinas, in fields stained with blood and soil. It was learned when humans stayed behind while others fled. When they built shelters instead of monuments. When they stood unarmed and told monsters to leave. Elias Thorne returned to civilian life after Hesperus 4. He refused commendations. He accepted nothing but quiet acknowledgement. His cave design became standard protocol in extreme environment colonies. Engineers studied it. Administrators approved it. None mocked it again. Temperance Graves continued tending bar. Stories spread, exaggerated and reshaped, but she never corrected them. She simply enforced the same rule every night. No bullies. Elias Mercer's fields remained untouched by war. Every year 2 shadows crossed the sky. Bronze and silver. Always once. Across thousands of systems, small species taught their children the same advice. If a human offers help, accept it. If a human stands in your place, do not move. If a human chooses to stay, the place is survivable. The galaxy contained countless apex predators. Humans were different. They hunted predators that hunted the weak. They did not do it for dominance. They did it because someone had to. And when humans decided something mattered, reality adjusted accordingly. That was the final lesson. Not shouted. Not enforced. Simply proven. Again and again. Until no one forgot.
Thank you for watching, like, and subscribe.